Hello everyone, I'm Paul and today we're solving problem 1458, max.product of two subsequences. This is a reasonably hard problem, so here we will go step by step. We are given two arrays, nums1 and nums2, and we need to return the maximum dot product between non-empty subsequences of nums1 and nums2 with the same length. In case you know what a subsequence is, we can form it by removing any number of elements from the array. So if we remove this is a valid subsequence. If we remove this also, now 2 and minus 2 is also a valid subsequence. We can't change the relative position of remaining elements, so we can't change this order. And the dot product is basically the product between the two subsequences if we multiply elements in the same index. So let's say that here we take this subsequence 2 minus 2 and here we remove this and take 3 minus 6. The dot product in this case is 2 times 3 meaning 6 plus minus 2 minus 6 meaning 12, and this is 18. This is the maximum dot product that we can get for this input, so we return 18. Let's say that we are scanning this from left to right, so we have an I pointer for nums1 and a j pointer for nums2. And now we are exploring different possibilities. What can we do here? Well, we can start a new subsequence and add the product of these elements to the result. We can skip the current number in nums1, update the I pointer and try a new number to combine with the current number of nums2. We can skip the number of nums2, update the j pointer and try a different number from nums2 to combine with the number from nums1. And we have one more choice here. Let's say that both I and j pointers are at index 1. We can choose to extend the current subsequence. If we start the subsequence here, we can decide to extend this subsequence. So if we start from index 0, we basically have these three choices. Now, from index 1, we basically have these four choices available. So here we have four choices, here we have four choices, and here we have four choices. So here you can see our decision tree, and we are keeping track of accumulated results of subproblems at every point. And this is basically the definition of dynamic programming. So we can have a DP grid with the amount of rows corresponding to the length of nums1 plus 1. So here we have 4 elements, here we have 5 rows. And the amount of columns is given by the length of nums2 plus 1. Here we have 3 elements and 4 columns. Now every cell here corresponds to the maximum possible dot product ending at I-1 and j-1. So if we end here, the maximum possible dot product is stored in this cell. So for example, here we are picking 0 numbers from nums1 and 0 numbers from nums2. So it's reasonable to start with minus infinity. And maybe you are wondering why are we using this instead of 0. Here we have the constraints and we can have negative numbers. So if we are trying to get the maximum possible number, it's reasonable to start with minus infinity. For example, here we are picking 0 numbers from nums1 and 1 number from nums2. So the maximum result at this point is still minus infinity. So now you can see why here we have minus infinity in every cell and here we have the same. For example, here we are picking 1 number from nums1 and 0 numbers from nums2, so the maximum result at this point is minus infinity. Let's say that we are here. It doesn't matter if we pick any of these 3 numbers from nums1 because we are still picking 0 numbers from nums2, so this is still minus infinity. Now we are at this cell, and remember that we have 4 possible scenarios. Let's start with this one. What if we extend the current subsequence? Well, in this case, we take the accumulated dot product and add the current dot product, 2 times 3. And 2 times 3 plus minus infinity is minus infinity. For this scenario, we start a new subsequence. So we take 2 times 3, and this is 6. For the next scenario, we can skip the number from nums1, so we are skipping this. This means that we are looking at this cell. Remember that here we store the result of the scenario in which we don't pick any number from nums1 and we pick one number from nums2. So the result of this scenario is minus infinity. And we also have this scenario where we skip the number from nums2, so we are skipping this. If we are standing here, now we are looking at this cell. Remember that this is the scenario where we take one number from nums1 and 0 numbers from nums2. So the result of this scenario is also minus infinity. And the maximum number among these 4 scenarios is 6, so here we put a 6. This means that the maximum dot product at this point is 6. If we do the same in these two cells, we get 6 and 6, so next we are here. For this scenario, we do minus infinity plus 1 times 3, which is minus infinity. For this scenario, we start a new subsequence, so we do 3 times 1, which is 3. For this scenario, we skip I, meaning we are skipping this, so we are looking at this cell. The result here is 6. And for this scenario, we are skipping J, so we are looking at this cell. This is minus infinity. The maximum number here is 6, so this is 6. The result for these two cells is also 6, so now we are here. The result in these two cells is 6, so now we are here. If we extend the current subsequence, we take the accumulated result, 6, plus the dot product of the current two elements. Minus 2 times minus 6 is 12. And 12 plus 6 is 18. So the result for this scenario is 18. And just to be clear, this means that we are taking the dot product of these two elements and these two elements. We are using 6 from this cell, and now we are adding these 12. Okay, so the result is 18. If we start a new subsequence, we do minus 2 times minus 6, which is 12. If we skip I, we are skipping this number, so we are looking at this cell. And if we skip J, we are skipping this number, so we are looking at this cell. The maximum number among these 4 is 18, so this is 18. Now we are here. In this scenario, we extend the current subsequence. So we do minus infinity plus 3 times 5, and this is minus infinity. For this scenario, we start a new subsequence, so we do 3 times 5, which is 15. For this scenario, we skip this number, so we are looking at this result. This is 6. And for this scenario, we are skipping this number, so we are looking at this cell. This is minus infinity. The maximum number here is 15, so we put 15 here. The result here is also 15. And finally here, in this scenario, we do 6 plus minus 6 times 5, which is minus 30. And the result here is minus 24. If we start a new subsequence, we do minus 6 times 5, which is minus 30. If we skip I, we are skipping this, so we are looking at this cell. This is 18. And if we skip J, we are skipping this number, so we are looking at this cell, which is 15. The maximum number among these 4 is 18, so we put this here. And the maximum possible dot product in these two arrays is right here, 18. So finally we return this. Time and space complexity here is big O of n times m because we need to build this DP grid and iterate it. So now with this in mind, let's go with the code. First, n is the length of nums1, m is the length of nums2. And we have a DP grid, which is an array that includes an array with minus infinity times n plus 1. Remember that this is very important, and this is for every index in range n plus 1. And now we are iterating every cell starting from row 1, column 1. So for I in range from 1 to n plus 1, and for j in range from 1 to n plus 1. Every time we say dpij is the maximum among the 4 possible scenarios. First, we have the scenario in which we start a new subsequence. Here we just do nums1 at I minus 1 times nums2 at j minus 1. And just to be clear, this is the scenario where we start a new subsequence. Now, what if we continue the current subsequence? We do dp I minus 1, j minus 1, meaning the accumulated dot product plus nums I minus 1 times nums2 j minus 1, and this is nums1. So this is the scenario where we continue the current subsequence. And here we need to add a comma. For the next scenario, we are skipping the number from nums1. So this is just dp I minus 1 j. And just to be clear, here we skip I minus 1. And for the final scenario, we have dp I j minus 1, and this is the scenario where we skip j minus 1. So after all of this, we have the result in dp minus 1 minus 1, meaning in the last cell. So finally we return this. Now let's submit this. As you can see, this works and it's very efficient. So if you found this useful, please drop a like, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.